This is Crank Up Live, the podcast, and we want to welcome you to the show. You're listening to us on Facebook and YouTube and all of the great audio podcast softwares out there, Apple, Google, everybody. Have to introduce, hit the subscribe button. Be sure and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Brad was on me for saying that. There's a little bell, too. You can click the little bell. It'll tell you when we're coming on, and you never have to miss a show, ever. Mr. Brad Hennington in Honolulu, Hawaii. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. You know, we got the hurricane bearing down on us. I just thought it was funny this past week. I had a doctor's appointment that I had to go to, and I forgot that I had this thing scheduled way in advance. And so I called them, and I'm like, hey, I want to cancel this. And they're like, oh, well, there's a $95 fee to cancel. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, if it's less than a week out, it's a $95 fee. And I'm like, oh, well, shoot. Can I reschedule? And they're like, sure. And I'm like, okay, is there a fee for that? And they're like, no. So I rescheduled for 3 weeks out. And then the next day I called and I was like, okay, I need to cancel this appointment.
They're not going to get $95 out of you, are they?
Yeah, it's like, you guys realize there's an easy thing to work this system, right?
So you're in Hawaii, you're in Honolulu. We've got the little graphic going up here. And you can see the hurricane stuff coming in and where it's going to hit and all of that stuff. So you're about to get waylaid by this thing, apparently.
I hope not. It's supposed to go across like the North Shore, and then we're supposed to have tropical storm force winds and rain and everything. But so far, nothing's happening. It's kind of like last year when the one was headed straight for us, and then it just kind of went poof and disappeared right before it got here. So.
Well, do you notice, with all these hurricanes, and I think this is something that goes on, in Florida and Texas and all this stuff in Louisiana when these hurricanes are coming up, every one of them is going to be the end of the world, and you better take shelter and cover and all of this stuff, and then it kind of bombs out, and so people stop, taking it as serious as maybe they should at times, right?
Well, this time, the funny thing is, that the local governments here, man, they're heavy Democrat. I mean, you can't even run as a Republican here. So they decided that didn't matter if there's a hurricane coming. We're not opening hurricane shelters because people might catch COVID. Like, if you fly away, we don't care. We just don't want you to spread COVID anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the hurricane demolishes your house and kills your family, but you're not coming to a shelter because you might catch COVID. But now they did now that the impact is imminent, they did go ahead and open the shelters right this morning. They should have done a few days ago, right?
Yeah, I was just hoping to have those scenes on, where people are filming with their little phone and be like, oh, aloha kimo, as he goes flying by, and be like, at least he didn't catch the Rona.
Yeah, no doubt.
Come on.
So what was the thought process behind not opening these up? Do you have any idea? I mean,
no,
seriously.
That was it. They were like, well, we're better off letting people shelter in place. Good luck in their homes. We don't want to put everybody together because we'll all die of COVID if we do that.
Now there's a big school right down there by you, right? That's a shelter that's all concrete and everything, correct?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
Yeah, and so you and I had talked when this thing was happening, and you were like, "Man, I'm going anyway," right?
Yeah, and my wife's like, "Yeah, but it'll be locked. We can't go. They didn't open it." I'm like, "Locked? That doesn't mean anything."
You're like, if you've been watching TV, locks don't mean anything. We can
I just have to paint BLM on the side with some spray paint, and I'm good. It's not even illegal in that case.
I know, right? They would probably come and unlock it for you if you painted
they'd be like,
BLM
well, it is a protest. He's going to write something in the street and burn the place down after he leaves. So
burn it down after he. So what's on the show this week?
On the show this week, the Chinese are spying on us. Who would have guessed? Diversity officer is the new HR Karen. What is a peaceful protest? And we ain't bull pooping ya has a twist this week.
Oh, I'm excited about the new We Ain't Bull Pooping Ya. And before we get into all of that, Brad, you saw the first pitch, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fantastic. What an arm.
Yeah, this guy. Let's just watch it. You want to just watch it real quick?
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Gentlemen, it's the indubitable Dr. Fauci to throw out the first pitch of the 2020 season. Here he goes. Oh, balls. It's as off target as virtually every prediction that he made. Thank you very much, Dr. Fauci. Please get out of here.
Wow, that pitch was really almost as bad as Obama.
Well, I can't throw, and I'm not really a doctor.
No, that's the dugout. You need to get the out of here. Thanks.
Oh, okay, you're all gonna die.
Yeah, so get the bleep out of there, Dr. Fauci. Did you hear him say that he's not even a doctor, Curtis? I'm pretty sure he said that.
It's not surprising. Dude, I really liked the commentary on that video.
Yeah, I don't know who did that. That was they're hilarious, and they should keep doing that type of work.
His pitch was as bad as any of the predictions that he's made since this whole thing started. You know, one day it's a mask, next day don't wear it, next day it's going to kill us all, the next day it's not that bad. This guy, I don't even know how this guy's still even around at this point.
Yeah, 2 to 8 million dead, 100,000 dead, 4 million dead. Every other day was something new. That way he could be like, no, that's not what I said. I said such and such.
Yeah. and oh yeah, and by the way, most of the testing's incorrect anyway, so those numbers are all false. We just gotta. All right, man. So let's get into it. You want to talk? We're going to talk about this this thing that went down in Houston with the Chinese, right?
Yeah. So obviously, we know that the Chinese are always stealing stuff and spying on us, stealing patents, stealing copywritten material, and whatever. So
wait, hang on, Brad.
Oh yeah.
This is not orange juice and vodka. It's not.
No, that's like a mango peach energy drink. V8. You're healthy. He's healthy.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we told him you've got, we're shutting you down. You got 72 hours. So the next thing you see is there's like a 5-alarm fire in Houston because in the middle of their courtyard at the consulate, they were burning stuff as fast as they could.
Yeah, they had to destroy everything, Brad. You knew that, right? You knew they were going to do that.
I'm just surprised that we didn't just bust in there and take it. And then there was rumors that they had contacted Hillary Clinton prior to the burning, and they were like, so what do we do about all that? And she gave them all the tips, and she's like, you destroy everything, and then they got nothing on you.
She's like, hang on, let me send you the Dropbox link to my bleach pit stuff.
Yeah,
I'll have that right over to you. And you can run down, I know there's a Lowe's nearby, run down, wear your mask, and pick up some hammers, because you got to bust those hard drives and phones. Get them out of the way. You don't want anything left. Bust them into little pieces.
And then right after that, you had all these people that supported Hillary going, the Chinese didn't do anything wrong. Do you have any proof?
Yeah, man. It's amazing to me, and so then the Chinese right away was like, well, we're going to retaliate. I can't do a Chinese voice, Brad. Can you?
I don't know what that voice was at all.
I was doing my Houston, Texas accent, and instead of my Chinese Texas.
We no steal no patent information.
Perfect.
I don't know. That was bad
but
too.
They're gonna retaliate, though, they said, right? And so I guess do you have any idea what they're gonna do now?
They're not gonna buy corn.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's their retaliation. We're not going to buy food from your farmers. Like, so you're not going to feed your people? Nope.
well, and this is something, I'm glad you said that, because this is something that I don't think a lot of people really understand. Trump was taking it really bad in the lamestream media about the farmers and the soybeans and all this stuff, and they're like, well,
because of the tariffs.
Yeah, because of the tariffs. And what they didn't really understand was the tariff money was going to the farmers. Right. So he's charging them tariffs. They're paying these tariffs, and that's going to the farmers who are not selling those soybeans and stuff to the Chinese. So, this is when you think a real war is going to break out, Brad. Like, seriously.
I'm telling you that. We're gonna have to start a new thing too, like conspiracy theory of the week, because I've got another theory. What if because we get all of this stuff from China. What if the COVID tests are tainted, Curtis?
Well, they've already said that some of them are.
No, but what if that's what's giving people COVID? Like the early testing was all on the East Coast.
Oh, come on now.
What if they actually tainted them to give you COVID as they put the swab in your nose?
Look, Alex, I'm with
just,
Alex Jones right now, right?
Just saying.
Yeah, no, come on. I could see the
possible.
test. I could see the test being faulty and producing false positives and things like that. I doubt very seriously that they're infected with it. See, you just lost any credibility you ever had.
No, I just said it's a possibility, and it is. That would be a way for them to attack us, and we actually facilitated it. Makes sense, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't think that that's the case.
We will have to research this.
Remember this. Remember this show, folks, and we can go back and play the tape later on if we find out that they did a biological attack.
Yeah.
Through COVID-19 tests and somehow, that's not.
All right, and this show is going to be the most prophetic we've ever had. I am giving Betty White 17 days. 17 days from today, Curtis.
Folks,
Maximum.
For those of you that didn't listen to our radio show, Brad and I were syndicated on a lot of radio stations across the United States in both rock and country for a long time, like 12 or 13 years, 14 years. I don't even know.
Kind
how
of
long.
ridiculous.
But over that time frame, we predicted the deaths of a lot of celebrities, almost to the week, even sometimes.
The only one that has evaded us is Betty White.
Betty White.
I think we took out Hugh Hefner with our show.
Oh, dude, we predicted Hugh Hefner almost to the day. It was scary, and we got those tapes too. Who else did we do? I'm trying to everybody. It was like
Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee was one, but Betty White. I think I missed her calling like 2 years ago. So you're saying 17 days from today. Why?
I just feel it. I feel it. I'm getting it from the universe that she's on the way out. And when we love you, Betty White, you did great things and we love you.
She's like the only Golden Girl left, right? Everybody else has kicked it. Even the young maintenance people that used to come in and fix their house are dead.
They're all gone.
She's outlived them all. What is she, like 142 now or something?
Something like that, 143, something.
Yeah. So Betty White, we're sorry to see you go. But Brad, we've got to be. I don't think it's going to be 17 days. I've got to disagree. But is it going to be a COVID death, or is it just going to be a regular?
Oh, of course. She's going to die in her sleep of COVID.
Oh, okay. 17 days.
17 days. Good luck. Hey, another thing with the conspiracy theories. I came up with something else the other day, Curtis.
Oh, geez.
Get this. Mitt Romney was running for president, right?
He was.
John McCain was running for president. He was also running as a Republican. Both of them, as soon as Trump got in, hated him. Like all of these people that I now consider deep state hated him.
They're rhinos, Brad.
Well, we thought that, but I'm saying Trump got in and he wasn't deep state. That's why the deep state had to freak out. But I went back even further. I'm wondering if even Reagan was deep state. Now, I loved Reagan. He did lots of different things, but think of some of the things that he did. He's the one that gave amnesty to all of the illegal aliens and gave them the ability to vote in the country. He had George H.W. Bush was his vice president, and George H.W. Bush was the head of the CIA prior to being the vice president. And then, of course, we had his son in there. Then we had Clinton, which we know they're just part of the deep state. I mean, they'll kill you right now. Then you had Obama, and he's with Biden. Biden's been in Congress for 45 years or something crazy.
Oh, yeah, forever.
I'm thinking it goes all the way back to around the time of JFK, and JFK was one of the first ones that they had to get rid of. Think about that for a minute, folks. And then here, it goes even further. Ted Cruz was the one running against Trump that had the biggest chance. You know, you had Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz. Jeb Bush's. Ted Cruz supported the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That was the partnership with China. And I always wondered, why the hell did he want that? And what did Trump say about Ted Cruz's dad?
Yeah,
that he was buddies with the guy that shot JFK. And then Ted Cruz's wife is an executive with Goldman Sachs. I'm not Alex Jones, but I could play him on television.
God, yeah, you're so far out there tonight.
No, it isn't. Research it.
I know that that's the way what they're saying, but I do believe. I
got more.
I bet you do. I do believe that Trump went in legitimately to clean house, and I think that
they're freaked.
That's why they're all freaked out, and that's why you've got, dude, Mitt Romney's a douche.
Yeah,
he is, and a lot of these guys, a lot of these Republicans are.
Oh, and what did we find out about Mitt Romney? He started a company called Bain Capital. That was his investment firm. One of his first investors is Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. That's not even a joke. You can look it up.
Yeah,
Robert Maxwell was one of his first major investors in Bain Capital.
And you know who that is, folks? That's the Epstein's chick that went out and
the madam.
Yeah, the madam and brought in all of these girls for Epstein's Island, right?
Right. I mean, you can look these things up. Now, here's the other one, because you're like, stop it. The Lincoln Project is George Conway, Kellyanne Conway that's in the White House.
Oh, dude, the Lincoln Project. I got a lot of problems with the Lincoln Project. I really, and I'm not getting, dude, they use Lincoln's name to sound like they were, going to be all great and legit and all about.
But it's also a Republican that was assassinated.
Dude, the Lincoln Project is a whole load of garbage. It's just a whole load of garbage, and Conway is at the head with their.
And now they're finding out that the Lincoln Project has ties to Russians and a bunch of tax troubles. And so I'm thinking Kellyanne is basically a double agent. Why would you still be married to George if you're not playing the double agent role?
Well, they say, I don't think that they are really together much anymore. I mean, I think that they're I think they're separated. I really do.
But I'm telling you, you have all these leaks from the White House. I think it's Kellyanne Conway. That's my theory. My theory. You heard it.
You know what? I'm not even that far off on you on that one because I've thought that too. But it's so blatant with George Conway, the way he just blasts Trump nonstop all the time. I think that Trump's not stupid, so I think that he would be looking into that. Don't you?
Yeah, you have to be leery of Kellyanne. You would think. You would think.
Yeah, you would think. But anyway, let's get on. Let's go on to something else.
We'll move on from my conspiracy theories, and we'll go right into the one that we proved was real, which is we ain't bull pooping ya. And let's explain what we're going to do here. Do you understand what we're going to do, Curtis?
Well, they threw it at me. The producers threw it at me right before the show, and I had to ask 2 or 3 times because I wasn't sure. But then Brad came on and he's like, "Look, dumbass, this is what we're doing, and this is how it goes." So we're going to give you a topic of we ain't bull pooping you, and then we're going to give you 3 or 4 choices. I think 4, right?
4 choices.
4 choices of what you think the we ain't bull pooping you is, right? What the real story is, right?
Right. So, and we'll come back, so you have to listen to other parts of the show.
Yeah, we'll tell you about it later.
So the Russia collusion thing, one of the key people in this was Peter Strzok. Okay. He was the FBI agent that was texting his girlfriend, that's also an FBI agent, texting to Lisa Page. Okay. And they talked about initiating a protocol to get rid of Trump. Okay. So here it is, Curtis, because Curtis doesn't know either on these. So here are your 4 choices of which one is the real story. Peter Strzok was actually married to 2 women at the same time. His first divorce had not legally gone through. Strzok went to elementary school in Iran. Strzok's brother-in-law is the co-founder of Snopes. or Peter Strzok actually owns a condo in Trump Tower where they were spying on Trump. So which one do you think that is?
Me personally, which one do I think it is?
Yeah, which one do you think it is?
I think that he was married to. No, well, you said he was married to 2 women at the same time, or was he married to another woman while he was laying the pipe to Lisa Page?
No, I'm saying he was actually married to 2 women at the same time because his first divorce had not legally gone through.
I'm going to go with that one.
Okay.
That's the one I'm going to go with. Yeah, because
we'll come back to that.
Because the guy is a horn dog, right? So he's boning Lisa Page. They're doing their pillow talk thing. They're doing all of that stuff. So he's a piece of garbage anyway. So he probably was married to 2 women at the same time.
It's a possibility. Hey, Curtis, do you know that we need to hire a diversity officer for our staff now?
I've been hearing about this. Like they're gonna forget human resources now, right? I mean, you still got to have that. You still got to have that in case somebody has a problem. Yeah, in a way. But now it's a diversity position where all they're going to do is come in and make sure that your company is diverse enough and what you can do to improve your profile, right?
Right. Because like right now, I'll give you an example. 100% of the hosts on our show are white. That is unacceptable. You have to have at least 51% minority. So what we're going to have to do, I'm going to be fired. Curtis is going to have to do a DNA test to find out if he has any minority in him, and then we're going to hire a minority to replace me. That's
not true though, because that's not happening. yeah, that's not happening. I'm sitting here.
We're going to have to do it.
And they're just outright saying, even if they're not qualified, if the person is not qualified, and it's between A and B, and A is super qualified, you have to hire B.
Well, even at places like Harvard is basically saying they're going to do away with their English Lit program. It's not really going to be English anymore because proper grammar is racist. bag of cranked up coffee. If anybody can tell me what this is in the comments, and they are correct about it, I told them earlier. I think
that's not what it is.
Oh,
that's not what it is.
I don't get my coffee. But in Seattle, the city is now doing anti-racism training, and you're selected to take anti-racism training based on the color of your skin. If you are white, you have to take anti-racism training. If you are not white, you don't need it, Curtis. You don't need the training.
I'm smoking and drinking on the air, and I remember when we were doing radio, that was a big no-no. You remember that?
Yeah, well, you can't drink live on the air.
In radio.
That in anything, actually. In any communications, you're not supposed to be drinking live on the air.
But we're live right now.
So, but you're not drinking.
Okay.
I'm telling you, folks, he's not. That's
I'm telling you, in the comments,
he's
free bag of cranked up coffee. Carlsbad Floral will send it to you, right? They're going to be carrying the coffee. So yeah, they'll send it out to you. Free bag.
And then now, Curtis, I'm hearing there's a new group that is black feminists. Not just like Black Lives Matter. These are black feminists that are saying until black women are free, that no one is really free, which I don't fully understand this, but
I agree 100%. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what it means, but I agree 100%.
Yeah, I had really hoped that since we had a black president that we could put to rest the whole I'm oppressed nonsense, but no, Curtis, I have a surprise for you. We have somebody special to talk about black female oppression. We're bringing on Oprah Winfrey to get her opinion on oppression.
When is this happening?
Sorry, we didn't get her. We couldn't even get a phone number for an assistant for her because she would never talk to us, Curtis. We are so far beneath her that we couldn't even get a secretary at the nail salon that one of her assistants goes to talk to us on the phone. So we're that far beneath her. So can you imagine if she's oppressed? how far down in the soil are we?
we're like that pepper plant that you're planting at a certain millimeter. Yeah. Hey, I want to talk about Weatherford, Texas for a second, because
Yes.
one of the things that's really, really, really pissing me off is I'm watching these I'm watching these peaceful protests, right? It's the peaceful protests,
that's
Brad.
right,
Nothing
peaceful.
ever out of line with any of these protests. But what I'm finding out now, we've seen a couple times now that something may not have gone the way that these peaceful protesters thought it should. They throw a frozen water bottle at a police officer or something, and then some patriot comes up and socks him in the side of the head. And the first thing they start to do is yell for the police to come and help them out. Weatherford, Texas, they bust in like 4 or 5 busloads of Black Lives Matter into Weatherford and dumped them out on the street to do a protest. What they were not expecting was the community of Weatherford all banding together and confronting these Black Lives Matter protesters, the peaceful protesters.
Yeah, guess what, Curtis? You have a right to protest protesters.
Absolutely. But when I started seeing the headlines, the first thing I saw when it all went down, luckily I know Rita over there. She's a lady that I used to work with years ago, and she lives there, and she was there, right? She was there, but I see the headline first, and I read it and I think, oh my God, and I start reading the story, and of course, the headlines are racist Trump supporters, confront peaceful protesters in Weatherford, Texas.
Yeah, racist Trump supporters against Black Lives Mattering.
Yeah, and so it was these guys had Confederate flags, and they had this and that, and it was just they were carrying Trump flags that said no more bullshit on them, and they were doing all of this stuff. There was some of that. I'm not there was some. These guys. Then I'm getting ahead of myself. The Black Lives Matter person that organized this event in Weatherford got a hold of the police chief, right? And he was texting him back and forth, telling him that we're going to do this. We need your support, this and that. Of course, the police didn't go right away, Brad. They didn't go. This thing kind of went a little bit. They had some arguments. We seen the video. We actually posted some of the video. In fact, let's play some. We'll play some right here in the background while it's going on. So you'll see what's happening. The police escorted Black Lives Matter out of town because I guess they were worried.
They felt threatened.
Yeah, they felt threatened. And I got to tell you, it's I think I said this, know your audience, folks. If you're going to protest, if you're going to bust yourselves into a city, do it in one of these liberal cities full of snowflakes, because when you start coming into Texas and into conservative New Mexico and Arizona and some of these places like that, probably not going to like that outcome.
Yeah, you're not going to get to do your peaceful protesting where you spray paint buildings and break windows and destroy things, because folks, that's not peaceful. Same thing as being in the street and surrounding a car. There's a good chance you could die doing that. So you really should stop it.
That brings us to Austin, Texas, right? With this guy that we were talking to. Now, this guy, I don't remember his name.
Garrett, I don't know the last name. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he was on a video, or he was making comments on Facebook, where cops were being injured, and he was celebrating that. He was a real...
Yeah, saying they got acid thrown in their eyes, and that's good because they're cops.
Yeah, he was one of those kind of guys. He was a white guy in the camo gear, all of that stuff. Well, he's carrying an AK-47. Yeah, he's got the strap, and he tries to look all tough. And he did a video, and we posted this video too. So you see this guy, and he's talking about his buddy got arrested, and they won't let him march on the streets now. So now he's carrying this AK-47, and he knows better than to use it against the police because he would be dead. But all of these, and he used the P word, Brad.
Instead of wussies.
All these other, instead of wussies, he used the P word. They're not going to do anything anyway because I've got my
AK-47.
AK-47, yeah. And so then, a little bit later, he goes to a vehicle, I guess, and tries to mess with.
And
the
there's
guy.
a video that they claim proves that the protesters were right, but what it shows is everybody goes running over to this car, and then you hear gunshots, and then everybody goes running away, and then you hear more gunshots. You hear 5 gunshots that sound like they came from an AK-47, and then you hear 3 gunshots that don't sound like they came from an AK-47. And Garrett had an AK-47, and Garrett got shot 3 times.
3 times.
So you figure it out.
And died, right? So this gentleman in the vehicle shot Garrett 3 times and killed him in fear for his own life. So right away, as soon as it happens, all these peaceful protesters carrying AK-47s, start screaming and crying, and this one girl does an interview, and she starts talking about how, she's got her water bottle, and they're talking to somebody else, and she's like, "Wait, get out of the way! I'll tell this." And
oh my gosh, Garrett, he was such a good guy. He had a girlfriend that's a quadriplegic, and so he's such a great guy. And I love the
water
she
bottle.
used the water bottle as a.
She just takes her water bottle and puts it up to her mouth like a microphone and talks into it as she's crying, talking about what a great guy Garrett was. And then she also said he's been here for all 52 days or whatever it was, and nothing's happened.
And we did have somebody when you posted that saying that, oh, it's terrible that people are laughing at loss of life. Okay, I can't make you value your own life. You have to do that. So if you go out into a protest and you start threatening people with an AK-47, that's on you. That's not on me. That's on you.
Absolutely. And at some point, Brad, I this is going to sound bad, and we're probably going to get some mail over this, but at some point we have to look at this like population control. I mean, if you're that big of an idiot, you don't deserve to be around anyway.
Well, and folks, as we approach the Civil War, there's going to be a lot more of that. A lot more.
Well, and that's the thing, my biggest gripe with this, one of my biggest gripe, other than it's happening at all, is these protesters are so all over the place. They're so all about it. They have no problem smashing your windshield or dragging you out of a car, beating you up, whatever they want to do, peacefully. But as soon as anything happens to them,
they flip out.
And where's the police? Why aren't the police here? Where can
I love when something happens with a vehicle and then the vehicle's driving away. What do they say? Get the license plate. I'm like, who are you going to call to give the license plate? You're going to call the police that you're saying you hate. Now you want them to help you? I can't wait until the police are out of the scene completely. Let's defund the police. No problem. Because then who are you going to call? Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Brad, I want to go into, let's run the intro. Trailer Park Trash of the Week.
Trailer Park Trash of the Week.
So we've got this school teacher in Michigan. Now, this guy was he was a great guy from all accounts. Everybody really liked this guy. All the students liked him. He was a nice guy, right? That's what I've heard. That's what you've heard.
Great teacher. Mm-hmm.
Great teacher. He's apolitical, so he doesn't really take one side or the other. He just goes with the flow, right?
That's what I'm told.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. Like, the guy's not over the top, anything like that. I guess he said something to the effect. What did he say, Brad, exactly? I don't remember.
All he said was, because everybody's hating on Trump, he said, Trump is your president. That's it.
Fired.
I don't know how you can fire a teacher for saying Trump is your president, but he got fired. I'm sure he's going to sue, but I mean, come
Brad,
on.
they can fire somebody like that because there are so many qualified teachers out there that it's so easy, especially in Michigan. You can pick a teacher up like that and just get him in that classroom, probably better than he was anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No problem.
Seriously.
Yeah, so the superintendent, I don't even know his name. Who cares? He's the Trailer Park Trash of the Week.
The superintendent, the one that fired him. Yeah. Oh my God. It's amazing to me, how they can justify stuff like that. But it's the cancel culture, right? We're getting to the point now to where anything you say at all, you run the risk of being terminated from your job. They're saying right now that like 68% of people, Brad, are afraid to say that they support Donald Trump. They're just straight out afraid to say it at all to anybody. Because
and that's why the polls don't show what you think, just like against Hillary. The polls don't show the correct numbers because people are like, oh, I can't answer that. They're afraid to answer that, or they go ahead and answer the other way just to skew the polls in favor of that person.
You know me, man. I'll argue with anybody about this stuff. But I'm sitting here and you talk to some people that are liberal or whatnot, and they'll start arguing and getting so mad that at some point you just say, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
And you just let them walk away because there is no winning that argument, and they'll stand and do it till the end of days if they need to. They don't.
Right. You can bust out the paperwork. You can be like, here it is. Here's where Peter Strzok told us that he was trying to take out the president. Don't believe you. He's a Russian. Trump's a Russian.
Speaking of Peter Strzok, let's go back to the we ain't bull pooping you. I want to know what the answer is.
All right. We said he was actually married to two women at the same time, and then because the divorce wasn't legal, that he went to school in Iran, that his brother-in-law founded as a co-founder of Snopes, or that he owns a condo in Trump Tower. He was educated in Iran, Curtis. He went to school in Iran. When he was a child, he was in Iran.
I would have never thought that. That was the one that was like least on my list of everything.
Dude, I pull up the We Ain't Bull Poopin' You can look it up. He went to school in Iran, and I'm just wondering if that's where they got to him and said, hey. Yeah, but I guess his dad was CIA. So, who would have guessed?
Well, on the upside, mad respect to Peter for at least getting him some while he was an FBI agent with another. If nothing else, at least he had a little fun and, the pillow talk. And I think a lot of that really, and I know we need to go, but a lot of that nonsense that he was texting back and forth with Lisa Page was trying to look like the man. Like he hated Trump. She really hated Trump. And so he's trying to look like a stud, and he's like, oh, don't worry, we'll get him. If he's elected, we've got plan B. We'll get him out of there. Don't worry. Can we meet up later? Because, it's one of those kind of deals. You know what I'm saying, Brad?
Right.
So
I know how it goes.
Yeah, you know how it goes. You mastered that.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Well, not all of us. I mean, Will Rooney, probably not so much, but everybody else, I'll say.
Yeah, I agree with whatever you say, lady. Just keep taking your pants off.
I got to tell you guys, Will Rooney and Kevin B are friends of ours. We used to be on 107.1 with them and W105 with them, and they started a new podcast called Two Bald Guys on the Right. You can go check that out on YouTube because it's a fantastic podcast, and we support it.
They're awesome.
They're great. Kevin B has been like the morning show host of the year.
Award-winning.
Yeah, they're award-winning. Brad and I used to win some awards back in the day, and we haven't in a long time, though, because now we suck. Yeah, it's been... it was funny because when we won awards, and then they were like, okay, well, now you guys are syndicated, so you're not eligible anymore. And so they wouldn't even put us into anything except for like these crazy award shows, and it was like there was no way we were winning. I didn't even want to go because I'm like, well, we're not going to win anyway.
I like going to those, even though it's like, yeah, I don't think we quite have the listener base of some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
well, I liked when we were number 2 on one of ththese things behind Dolly Parton's podcast. I was like, we are? Okay, then.
Yeah, it's great, folks. You know what? We appreciate anything else, Brad? Am I forgetting anything?
Yeah. Curtis, I've determined that when my kid says, Dad, where's Mom? That's the kid version of, I'd like to speak to your supervisor.
Absolutely. Folks, we want you to go to YouTube. Go to YouTube at youtube.com/crankeduplive and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell, and that way you can get, you'll know when we're on live. And you can go to crankeduplive.com, and if you just have audio, you can listen to us on iHeart or Apple or Google or Stitcher or we're everywhere. So go and check it out there. Yeah, you don't even know what Stitcher is. Yeah,
I don't even know.
I don't either. They just told me we were there. So, folks, hey, thanks so much for tuning in. And Brad, good luck in the hurricane. Dude, don't blow away.
No, I'll be fine. Aloha.